In the deep dive tonight, we are looking ahead to a vote in Virginia that could have major implications on the power structure on Capitol Hill. A special election will be held tomorrow for voters to decide whether the Commonwealth should create new congressional districts ahead of this year's midterm elections.
Now, right now, there are 6 Democrats and 5 Republicans in the state's 11 districts. But if the Democrats' plan is approved, they could potentially flip 4 of those districts from red to blue, picking up an additional 4 U.S. House seats. A political science professor at George Mason says the entire country is closely paying attention to these results.
This is one of the highest stakes special elections Virginia's seen in decades.
Now, here is where this issue gets a little bit more complex. Usually redistricting is done after the census by a Virginia bipartisan commission in 2030. But Democrats say they're responding to GOP-led redistricting efforts ahead of the midterms. However, state Republicans like Delegate Ren Williams told 7 News this move in Virginia would give too much political powers to Fairfax County, which is heavily populated by Democrats.
Northern Virginia really operates in its own ecosystem, which is Northern Virginia. And what you're going to hear is, well, you guys suck up all our tax money. Well, maybe we wouldn't have to pay so many taxes if it wasn't for all the infrastructure that Virginia was pushing into Northern Virginia. Now, I don't have anything wrong with that. I'm just saying you don't get to represent the entire state of Virginia just because you have more population.
The redrawn map would only be in effect until October 31st, 2030, and then authority for redistricting would revert to the state's redistricting commission.
Well, the push by Democrats in Virginia to redraw the state's congressional map has created a lot of legal questions as well as that controversy. So joining us now is Dr. Casey Myers, a professor at Virginia Tech who's been closely following all the issues facing the redistricting efforts. Thanks for joining us. Let's start with how we have gotten to tomorrow's special election. You know, mid-decade redistricting has been considered rare, but we've seen several states now, most notably Texas and California, make their changes to their maps. So why do you think we're seeing this shift right now?
Well, really, this is a national political issue, as you've talked about earlier, with other states redistricting and really in an effort to create a map that favors one party or another in control of the House of Representatives. And so Virginia is the latest state in this trend. Virginia's process requires a referendum vote because it's a change to the bipartisan way that maps are drawn. But again, this is part of a larger political fight that's going on in these midterm elections.
Yeah, I mean, it really seems like a tit for tat that we're seeing, encouraged by the national momentum as well. What would you say are the most valid legal challenges to this whole concept?
Well, the challenges on redistricting are largely done around process. And so there's been some challenges earlier on, and that's how we've gotten into this referendum vote that's coming up. Again, you know, the challenges there have been challenges to this, but largely it is around following process or not following process. And again, the process in Virginia requires this referendum, and then we will see this go into effect if it passes.
What about everything that's riding on this vote, possibly which party controls the U.S. House of Representatives? Do you see that issue continuing to be challenged in court over and over before the November election, just considering what the implications are?
Well, it's certainly high implications, and I do think that this is something that is going to be a very hot political issue. If you are in Virginia, you're getting a lot of mailers, you're getting a lot of communication around it, and quite frankly,
objection to the consideration of the bill.
Oh, you still with us?
Without objection, the bill is engrossed, read third time, and passed, and the motion reconsiders later.
Doctor, you still with us, Casey? All right, sorry about that. We had a little video playing of the legislature. Go ahead with your thought. Actually, if you don't mind picking up on my other question for you today was that, is it possible, because of what we've seen so far, that this kind of redistricting challenge is going to continue to become routine, that it's not just going to be 3 or 4 states? Is it going to be even more over the next couple of years?
That is certainly a potential possibility. One of the things that we see in all of this is that in our hyper-partisan times, and with so few, a handful of House of Representative seats really determining the majority for the U.S. House and Congress, this could be a potentially ongoing issue. It could be certainly something that we see play out in other states as well as we go on in future elections.
All right. We'll just have to keep watching and see how this plays out. Of course, tomorrow will be a very interesting day, and then we'll wait and see if other states then try to react to what Virginia does. Dr. Casey Myers down at Virginia Tech, professor there. We appreciate your time tonight. Thank you very much. And if you didn't cast an early ballot, you can vote in person tomorrow. Those polls are going to be open from 6 in the morning until 7 o'clock at night. Of course, if you're in line by 7, you will still be able to cast a ballot. Now, along with the redistricting referendum, voters in Alexandria will elect a new city council member. Special elections also being held there tomorrow to replace former council member Kirk McPike, who resigned to run for a House delegate seat. McPike won that election. So now there are 3 candidates on the ballot looking to fill that seat, 1 Democrat and 2 independent candidates. To learn more about them, just go to WJLA.com. And then, of course, stay with us for all of the election results tomorrow night on 7 News at 11 o'clock and on our website.